Coming up on our program today, Van's RV-15 is short on real details and huge on getting flyers' attention. The Skyleader 600 offers exceptional stability and control profile. And we get an update from KitFox. Those stories and more coming up on this special edition of Airborne Unlimited, brought to you from AirVenture 2021. Hi, I'm your host, Kimberly Kay. The Van's RV-15 is short on details, but huge on getting flyers' attention.
What is Van's bringing to Oshkosh 2021?
We have almost all the airplanes in our fleet. We have the 14 and the 14A. We have a RV-12IS, a SLSA special light sport airplane, the 4-seat RV-10. We have a customer that brought an RV-8. We have an RV-9A. Out on the demo line, we have the 7A and another 14A, and we have a whole bunch of airplanes that we brought with us, so pretty much representative of the entire current line of kits that people can buy from us and then build in their garage or basement or hangar and then end up flying themselves.
You do have quite the fleet that we're looking at. Are there going to be any additions to that fleet in coming months?
On Monday, we had our What's New and Happening at Van's Aircraft Forum, and in that we did sort of let the cat out of the bag or open the curtain a little bit to tell people about the RV-15, which is the next model coming from Van's Aircraft. What we've announced to date is that it will be a high-wing, all-metal, backcountry capable airplane. The initial version will be a tailwheel, with the tricycle version to follow. It will have a control stick, not a yoke. So those are some of the things that we have said, and we're super excited about it. I'm really looking forward to building one, I can tell you that, and flying it. It's actually really unusual for Vans to announce anything before it's completely done. So this is the first time we've done this. We've had a number of questions from customers over the last few years about what are you doing next, and do you think you might ever do a backcountry style airplane? And that's been our plan, to do that for a number of years. And so we just decided that it was time to let folks out there know that that's the direction that we're heading in. Our President and Chief Engineer Ryan Johnson at the forum on Monday did say that it's our goal and intent is to have the prototype airplane here at Oshkosh next year, so that people will be able to see that and take a look at it. So we're pretty darn excited about that.
Looking at the line of Van's aircraft behind us, there are a lot of similarities between different models. Is the RV-15 going to be similar to others?
I mean, there are certain characteristics of all RVs. We use the term total performance to talk about the way that it feels when it flies, and that's very important to us. The performance on the top end and the low end. But from the perspective of the new airplane model, it's really primarily clean sheet design. So, we're not, people have suggested, well, you could just take an RV-9 airfoil and put it on top of an RV-9 and you'd have a high-wing airplane. It really doesn't work that way. So there's essentially all new design going into this. Of course, we're taking what we know from our extensive experience with, just about 11,000 flying airplanes right now, RVs out there. So we have a lot of great input and experience from the community and knowing the airplanes. But the RV-15 it'll be a different airplane, but it will include those characteristics that make an RV an RV.
The Skyleader 600 is comfy for every kind of pilot, even those who are over 6 feet tall.
Mike, we're slowly winding our way down to the end of Oshkosh 2021. It's been an amazing week. How has the show been for you so far?
Oh, we've had an outstanding turnout, a lot of excitement around our new 600 model, and we've just really been pleased with all the folks that have come by, all the new leads. We've got a lot of demo rides to give after the show, so we're looking forward to that.
Mike, tell me a little bit about the Skyleader program right now. What's its status, what's available, and more important than anything else, just where this all fits in the American market.
Well, we were offering, as you can see, we offer the 600, the 400, the GP1, and we've also got the Albi coming. And where it fits is we have a complete range. We've got something for the flight schools. We've got something for somebody that just wants to fly around the patch a little bit, and we've got something for somebody that wants to take a long cruise like I did, 5,400 nautical miles across the United States, 18 states in about 54 hours, so 100 knots. You can't beat that. Wonderful aircraft, easy to fly, easy to trim out. This one doesn't even have autopilot, and most of the time I just sat there flat-footed with my hands folded flying across the United States. Yeah, I think if you notice, you come by and take a look in the cockpit, it fits the largest of all of our pilots in the United States. The new canopy allows for somebody 6'3", 6'4". It's adjustable seats, so as you and I were very comfortable getting up on the rudder pedals as we needed. And one of the nice things is, of course, we have full Fowler flaps right here. I mean, they just allow for some of the best approaches and the slowest touchdown speeds.
And finally, how do people get a little bit more information about what you're doing?
Well, you can contact me directly. The best way to do that is www.flyskyleader.com. Let's get together and let's get you in a Skyleader.
Mike, we appreciate your time and looking forward to catching up with you again down the line, and safe trip home.
Thank you very much, and good to see you as always.
KitFox's John McBean tells us what's new this year at AirVenture 2021.
Well, the Series 7 basically is the base frame that we work from. So the Series 7 Super Sport is one of the trim packages, followed by the STI, which is a second trim package, which is right behind us actually. And then we also have the Series 7 Speedster, which is the one Kyle Franklin flew in the air show here a couple of years ago. And those are the three trim packages that go onto the Series 7 aircraft. It can also be a tail wheel, it can be a tri-gear, it can be on floats, it can be on skis, and of course, KitFox trademark, the wings fold. It's a pretty exciting and great time, especially in the STOL movement. We've got a strong commitment in the STOL area, which has been our forte for many, many years. Coming from Idaho, that's kind of what it's all about.
Sure is. So the KitFox kit is pretty iconic. Are there any changes to that kit this year? Anything new?
There hasn't been anything changes specifically to the kit. We've kind of stayed with what we have and what we do best. We have introduced a new instrument panel. And I say a new instrument panel, it's actually much more than that. It's a pre-wire harness along with the instrument panel and the equipment that it populates with, and we use the Garmin Equip. So basically a person can have a single screen G3X touch along with the Garmin radios, autopilots as options, and it's a complete wire harness with the panel, so it feeds into the fuselage, and it's custom length and custom sized for our fuselage, which includes the connectors for the lights, for the magnetometers, for tail lights. It's all there. So it's a pretty comprehensive kit that can be put in literally in a day.
Looking forward past Oshkosh 2021 and into hopefully future Oshkoshes, what else is KitFox going to be bringing to the market?
Well, it's kind of exciting. We have a few things that are going to be coming out, so I'm just going to tell you to keep your eyes open and keep an eye on KitFox aircraft. There's a couple of things we've been working on for the last couple of years. Not anything in the new model arena, just some new exciting things that'll be coming out.
Coming up after the break, A&N chats with Senator James Inhofe. More news after these messages.
Pilot Communications USA is proud to introduce our latest headsets, the Carbon A1 Active Noise Reduction and the Carbon P1 Passive Headset. Carbon fiber makes our headsets 30% lighter than others, which significantly reduces pilot fatigue. Our BlueLink hand control unit allows you to connect two devices at the same time, and the record out capability can send audio to an onboard camera or digital recorder. Get the headset that's so light you may forget you're wearing one at pilot-usa.com.
The Zephyr is what you have always wanted. A highly capable two-seat turbine-powered helicopter with great ramp appeal, 100-mile-per-hour cruise speed, 172 nautical mile range, and to top it all off, a first-of-its-kind emergency airframe parachute system. The Curdy Design Zephyr, unique, advanced, innovative, and highly capable. Your ultimate freedom machine is available now at zephyr.eu.
The desire for adventure lives in the heart of every aviator. Built on passion and unlimited attitude, Waco Aircraft Corporation is dedicated to turning that desire into a reality. Waco Aircraft's team of artisans use handcrafted techniques from the 1930s, combined with the latest technologies, to bring two of aviation history's most renowned biplanes back into the skies.
Welcome back. If you see anything cool happening at Oshkosh, please use the hashtag you see on your screen. A&N's Jim Campbell got the chance to chat with one of aviation's biggest supporters, Senator James Inhofe.
We have a lot of things that we're doing right now. We're in the middle of trying to expand the interest in aviation to younger people. What we're trying to do is to get into programs where we have aviation in our high schools. Once they graduate from high school, we've pretty much lost them. Now, let me quickly say, not just pilots. We want people who work on airplanes, who can make airplanes run. And that's what we don't have enough of right now. That's more sought after. We have tech schools in my state of Oklahoma, and they'll tell you one of the areas where they are rapidly employing as soon as they get properly certified is in aviation. That's something we're doing. Another project we have that I personally have is we are a source of revenue. Pilots are. They, every time we turn around, there's taxing. However, that revenue doesn't go to the aviation industry. It ends up, it's a part of the highway bill and other areas, and we're trying to say anything that is generated from pilots should go to enhance pilots. We're working on that project, and we got a bunch of them right now that we're in the middle of. I would say if you were to single out one thing that has captured more pilots have been the beneficiary of, it's a third class medical. And it's one that was logical, but it's one that it took us a lot of years to get it done. And we've got 66,000 more airplanes that are flying today that wouldn't be flying if we didn't have that provision. And there hasn't been any degradation in terms of safety with it. So, I mean, just because something is not regulated to the level that some bureaucrats think it should be, doesn't mean that we're not doing a good job. We're doing a good job.
One of the things that concerns me with some of the chatter on the Hill is this thought about quote-unquote fair share of this, that, the other, and airplanes and people who own airplanes are a target. There are some folks that are operating turboprops and business jets who know that they've got a target on their back, and the question is, what do we do about that?
First of all, I think every member of the United States Senate should be forced to spend 2 days at Oshkosh and meet the people. No, I'm serious. Look at the faces around here. These are ordinarily, sure, a lot of them are single issue people, but they love each other. And I'm sensitive to this. For 42 years, I've come to Oshkosh, and it's a different environment altogether because everybody loves everybody. These are not the constant fightings. A lot of things that we're doing are trying to protect people against lawsuits, so you think that a lot of the attorneys would not do it. Yet I see attorneys out here who agree with all those inhibitions that we're dealing with right now.
At AirVenture 2021, NAFI announced who their new board chair will be.
We're here with Karen Kalishek, the new NAFI board chair, incoming and just recently elected. Could you tell me a little bit about your flight instructor experience?
Hey, well, thank you for asking, Maria. And I'd like to point out I'm actually, as many mature flight instructors, I'm actually in my third career. I was initially for almost 20 years in banking. I became a senior vice president of a bank holding company. Then for an additional close to 20 years, I was actually president of my own international consulting firm. And when I started flying, I became so enamored, that was the passion. And I thought, this is what I have to do. This is my calling.
You have been a very accomplished flight instructor. Could you explain some of the ratings that you have and where you've instructed?
Well, I think everyone understands what an ATP stands for, so that was kind of the culmination of my intentional ratings, and as you'd expect as a flight instructor, there's always the interest in, learning more, so I became a CFI, II, MEI, and also a glider instructor, which is, I think, just a lot of fun, and does make you a better pilot, there's no doubt about it.
Looking forward with NAFI and their new direction, where would you like to take the organization in the future?
Well, obviously, as for any organization, we'd like to have more of the overall flight instructor community join us. And we also realize as part of growing the pilot population, we don't want flight instruction to be a bottleneck. So obviously, growing the flight instructor community as a whole is very important to growing the entire pilot community also. So, growth, having community, support, development, all the fairly common and very important vital missions of any organization.
Is there anything you'd like to tell flight instructors moving forward who are considering joining NAFI or becoming a flight instructor?
Well, obviously, anyone who's ever considered becoming a flight instructor, truly it makes you a better pilot. And especially, I see a possible growth in the flight instructor community for those pilots who have been flying for quite some time. You know, perhaps you're nearing retirement, you're a commercial pilot. Consider becoming a flight instructor, that giving back to the pilot community. Flight instruction is also a very viable career opportunity as people enter aviation, not only as a stepping stone to something else, but also as a good, solid career path. And we'd like to get that message out also.
Jetted has a new fractional ownership involving HondaJets.
You're attracting a lot of interest from a company that normally doesn't really go to Oshkosh, and I'm surprised to hear you guys are doing very well.
Well, we are very blessed to be here this year. This is our first Oshkosh. We've been in existence, it'll be 3 years next month, and we've been growing rapidly. I think what people love about this, our company is, one, there's a great value proposition. But it's a new, beautiful airplane in the HondaJet. We have a striking paint scheme, and then we also have our Red Jet Squadron.
What does Jetted do that the competition doesn't?
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, you don't have to buy the whole airplane. You can just buy a piece of the aircraft. And in buying a piece of the airplane, you have the airplane for a number of days annually. So if you know that you've got 30 trips a year that you need to do, we've got a program for you with 40 days or 55 days. There's no reposition fees, no handling charges. You're just paying $1,600 an hour. Our pilots are flying with you. Of course, we want to make sure that you're learning. The Red Jet Squadron is a complement to my time and similar to your time in the Air Force, where you have a fighter squadron or a flying squadron of sorts.
Okay, I'm one of your customers. I need to dispatch. It's time to take the family from, say, Boston to Chicago. I call you. What do I do?
All you have to do is you can call us, email us, text us. You can communicate with us through the app. All you have to do is tell us when you want to fly out. And we show up with the airplane. As I mentioned, there aren't any reposition costs. The airplane will be there, fueled and ready to go at your takeoff time.
Who is your customer these days? What is your target market? And then finally, will we see you at Oshkosh again?
Well, as long as we can have this kind of space, we'll definitely be at Oshkosh again. It's been a great show for us. Our customers here at this show are the owner pilots, those Red Jet Squadron members, those individuals looking to upgrade into that next platform, to fly a jet, to reduce their cost of ownership, to have this much access to an aircraft.
ORBIS Flying Eye Hospital shows the humanitarian side of aviation.
ORBIS's mission is exclusively focused on eye care. We train, mentor, and inspire eye health professionals around the world so they can best treat blindness in their community. The majority of the world's blindness is preventable, and 90% of that is in low to middle income countries. And you can imagine what that's like to be born a child who has no sight and no future. And we're able to fix that with a 20-minute surgery. We're able to turn that vicious cycle of poverty and blindness into a virtuous cycle. Not only does that help the child with their education, it frees up their caregiver. And one of the things I always highlight, and is a very important part of our portfolio, is gender and blindness. Women suffer a disproportionate amount of blindness. And a lot of that is because they're not only taking care of themselves, they're taking care of others, and they put their needs below others. Also, there's issues of access, where men have greater access. So we are focused on gender at Orbis, children, training, and technology. We're fighting blindness, we're fighting poverty, but we're now giving these tools like this beautiful aircraft, simulation, cyber sight, that are giving us force multipliers that not only we can use, but we can give to our partners, and they can extend the care, extend the training. Nothing makes me more excited than when we go into a classroom and the teachers are now looking for eye diseases from a 1-hour workshop I gave a year ago. And they're making sure that the children's eyes are straight. The black pupil is black and not white. The eyes are straight, and they can do that even with a flashlight. So for me, the legacy and the impact we have is just tremendous, even though we're away from our homes and families for weeks and months at a time. We're always fighting jet lag and lost suitcases, and I can't find this, and I need one more of this to help the next patient. But to me, that's what's so exciting, is we're solving these problems and we're doing it together.
After the break, we have our last segment with none other than EAA boss Jack Pelton.
If you're like us, you feel like it's been a long time since the aviation community last got together at Oshkosh. This year is special.
And to help celebrate the return to Oshkosh, we're going to have our biggest sale of the year.
That's right. You'll save 22% if you order any time between now and August 5th and use the code Oshkosh.
Aviation Safety Resources is disrupting the market for aircraft emergency parachute recovery systems. ASR systems are smaller, lighter weight, and offer longer repack cycles than similar products available in the current market. ASR has a recovery system available for every type of aircraft: sport, experimental, light sport, general aviation, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing, electric propulsion, and unmanned aerial systems. Find the right product for your aircraft at aviationsafetyresources.com.
Welcome back. Jack and Jim talk about what can we expect for AirVenture 2022.
AirVenture 2022. Providing everything goes as we look right now. Predictions on how aviation will look a year from now and hopefully well after the pandemic peters out?
You know, I think 21 will be it's going to be the family affair. We got to get out. We got to see each other. No expectations, you know, relative to growth or business upside. So that's all this year is going to be, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a big one. I think 22 is now you're going to see some of the investments that are being made. It's going to be a more serious trajectory of growth, more stability, more some of the stuff you've talked about that people are working on. We're going to see that. So I think we're going to get back to a pretty serious 22. You know, we're still going to have the fun games of being here, but I think you're going to see the companies that are really doubling down and growing. We'll see the results of all that. Right now, they're just wanting to get back and sell what they've got. So I'm really excited about it.
What would you like to see happen?
In 22?
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of the technology that's being developed in the UAS world being put into the home-built experimental world. I'd like to see better progress on alternate power plant sources. I mean, we've talked electric for a long time, and nobody's really broke the code on having power densities in the battery that work for not just 1 hour spins around the patch for training, something more than that. Are there hybrid solutions out there? Some of the stuff that's been developed by folks like Garmin and the US on envelope protection and getting you back to your home base, I'm hoping we'll see that creeping in at reasonable price points into general aviation. One of the things we're going to start back up on working on is when we went through the STC process on the uncertified experimental category avionics, that STC process is still really good. The thing we want to start working on is what are the other things we can do for that. One of them, top of mind right now, is fuel gauging systems, as to how can we get some of this good digital, very accurate fuel gauging system at low cost into our older airplanes, and the ability to even have apps that allow you to know where you are, so that running out of fuel is never going to happen. But can it be done very inexpensively through STC? So projects like that you're going to see before 22.
Finally, how are you feeling about your role in all this? Still excited about challenging this every day?
I feel there's so much more to do and so much more we can. I keep thinking, when have I worn out my welcome? When is it time to say, you need to get somebody in here fresh to rekindle it because I'm burnt out? But even during the pandemic, those launching of Project 21, which is the addition, and some of these other things that we're doing, just keeps you fired up and thinking, where's it going to keep going? Aero-Educate, where's it going to go next? So I haven't seen the end of that run yet. It certainly makes waking up every day exciting, and you can't wait to get after it.
Well, that does it for our show today. I'm your host, Kimberly Kay. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the social media sites you see on your screen. And our show is also streamed on Roku and Fire TV, so make sure to check that out. It's been an amazing week bringing you the news from AirVenture 2021. Thanks for watching.